recording the class for the ones who are not here. I think yes, it is recording. Now, today we are going to talk about another chapter of this book. You have already your PDF documents loaded up, and also I think the PowerPoint is also in Neo. I loaded up already. So now today's chapter is how does free enterprise allocate resources? Allocate means asignar. ¿Cómo asigna los recursos? Ellos lo asignan de dos maneras. Una para buscar el profit, la ganancia, y otra de acuerdo a lo que el cliente está dispuesto a comprar o a consumir, mejor dicho. Esas son las dos maneras como ellos deben ubicar o asignar los recursos. Acuérdense que los recursos, they are limited. The resources are limited. So that's why you need to pay attention how to use your limited resources in order to earn your profits in your new business. Okay, now these are the objectives. I'm not going to read it. And the vocabulary, only 3. Remember, I'm not going to include these lessons just as vocabulary and assignment for your assignment. So I'm going to include it for next trimester. So that means that you need to complete it also. Okay. Okay, let's begin now. The role of the producers and consumers. Ambos tienen un rol en este sistema económico. The consumers look to get the best idea, the best deal, So the best deal for the money they spend. Definitivamente, si su papá le da $50 y usted se van al mall a comprar, usted va a buscar lo que les guste con ese dinero y con todo lo que ustedes puedan comprar, maximizar o poner a rendir ese dinero que ustedes tienen para comprar todo lo que ustedes desean y así satisfacer sus necesidades. Por eso dice el consumidor aquí, busca el mejor negocio, el mejor trato con su dinero para invertir su dinero. Igualmente, the producers, they do the same thing. The producers, on the other hand, are looking to earn the most profit for this transaction. O sea, sacar mayor ganancia en esta transacción. Profits is the money left over after the costs of producing a product are subtracted from the revenue gained by selling that product. Este trabalengua quiere decir que si de repente yo vendo mesas, ok, el costo o lo que yo voy a invertir en construir una mesa, por ejemplo, una mesa, vamos a poner un precio de $5, producir una sola mesa, ¿ya? O sea que en esa mesa ahí tuve gastos en qué, tuve que comprar la madera, los clavos, la lija, la pintura, electricidad, necesité alguien un carpintero para que me haga ese trabajo en sí. Total, más o menos un costo fue de 5 o algo, porque yo produje diferentes mesas, ¿ok? Pero yo en la construcción de esa mesa gasté $5. Ese es mi costo para producir solamente una mesa. Esa mesa yo le voy a lanzar al mercado y la voy a vender ¿por cuánto? Por $7, por ejemplo. Quiere decir que, no, disculpe, por $12. Mi costo fue 5 y lo voy a vender a $12. Eso quiere decir que $7 es mi ganancia, después de haber cubierto todos mis costos. ¿Entendido? Now, seeking opportunities to earn profit is one way producers help allocate scarce resource in the economy. Now, here there are 2 examples of this. Example, producer seeks profit. The owner of the coffee shop, motivated by the desire to earn profit, charge the highest price consumers are willing to pay. ¿Qué se refiere? Por ejemplo, vamos a suponer que este coffee shop es Starbucks. Si tú vas a Starbucks y tú te compras un café, un mochaccino, vamos a ver qué dice por aquí, un café latte, que dice, aquí está macachino, que es macchiato, no sé qué es hacer, baby chino, no sé qué es baby chino, mochaccino, algo así. Pero mírese lo que cuesta, $2.40, qué sé yo, $2.50, o sea, esto mismo tú lo puedes encontrar en otros lados mucho más barato. Pero ¿qué pasa? Ellos están, el empresario está dispuesto a ponerle el precio en que el cliente esté dispuesto a pagar. Ustedes van a ir a Starbucks y ustedes no se van a quejar de nada. Porque puede que solamente un café cueste $5 y ustedes lo pagan. ¿Por qué? Porque te están pagando por otras cosas aparte del café. Están pagando el ambiente, el aire acondicionado, la atención, etcétera, etcétera, etcétera. Eso se llama, así son los negocios, ¿ok? Muy bien. Now, the possibility for good profits encourage other people, o sea, otros entrepreneurs to open coffee shop of their own. As a result, productive resources that might have been used in some other kind of business, por ejemplo, otro tipo de negocio, por ejemplo, salones de belleza, barbería, restaurantes, are directed towards the coffee shop. O sea que lo invierten solamente en la construcción, en el negocio de coffee shop. Now, the profit seeking of producers then has helped in the allocation of resources. De esa manera se designan los recursos limitados que uno tiene. Now, the second example, the consumer bought with their wallets. That's what I explained at the beginning of the class. Consumers also play an important role in allocating resources in a free enterprise system. Allocating es asignar recursos. When consumers choose to buy a product, for instance, Nike or Adidas or Adidas or whatever, they are voting for their choice against competing products. These votes help determine what will be produced in the future. Now, for example, in the early 2000s, en aquel entonces, todo el mundo estaba fit, quería estar fit. Entonces se cuidaba lo que comía. When low carbohydrates diets were popular, consumer vote for low carb and high protein food and against high carb foods. Con alto caloría no querían sino baja caloría, carbohidratos, con bajo carbohidratos, dieta de bajo carbohidratos. Y aquí lo vemos en una tabla, cómo bajó del 2002 al 2003. Bajó -8, el arroz instantáneo bajó -8, la galleta bajó -0.5%, las bebidas carbonatadas bajó -5%, las ventas, estas son las ventas. Dry pastas, pastas secas y white bread, que nos gusta tanto, bajó. Y acá, en el otro lado, los low carb, high protein foods, vemos cómo aumentó los diferentes rubros. +7, +7, +8, +1, +4, +4, el pan integral. Así que de esta manera el mercado se va alineando y va ubicando asignando sus pocos recursos para satisfacer las necesidades del mercado. Okay, now interest in low carb diets peaked early in 2004, but began to fade thereafter. Hasta ahí llegó la moda, ahí comenzó a decaer, ya la gente se aburrió, digo, no, vamos de vuelta a la comida con alto nivel calórico. Producers quickly responded, los productores ya respondieron. By the beginning of 2005, some companies had gotten out of low carb market completely. Se salió nuevamente y regresaron a high carbohydrates. Consumers' action had caused a reallocation of productive resources. Nuevamente, once again. Okay. Now, aquí vamos a hablar otro aspecto que es la última parte de este capítulo. How to allocate resources in the free enterprise system. Now, one element that is very important in this kind of system is the government, even though he has a relative limited action. Now, this type of mixed economy, which includes some governance protection, provisions, and regulations to adjust the free enterprise system, is sometimes called a modified free enterprise economy. Modified free enterprise economy. The economy could be viewed as a stream of resources and products moving in a circular flow. Remember the circular flow models? Well, now we're going to talk about this once again, but now this element is included in that circular flow between the household and business. Now over here is the picture. Now the government goes in the middle and it tells you how it works. ¿De qué manera trabaja? Bueno, el gobierno tiene que comprar productos en el negocio y también tiene que solicitar información a the household individuals. Y el household tiene que pagar impuestos y así. De igual manera, el gobierno necesita resources, necesita materiales. ¿Y dónde lo voy a conseguir? In the market product, in the product market, sorry. Aquí él le provee al gobierno y el gobierno le paga. Igualmente, ¿y dónde consigo el recurso humano? En el factor marketing. Factor marketing, okay. El factor marketing le provee el recurso humano y asimismo él también le paga al factor marketing. So, de esta manera hace que funcione este circular flow model in this system. Now let's move on and let's go to this one last charts. Now on these charts, it tells you, it says chart 3.5, this one and this one's above shows the government is a major consumer of both resources and products. As you can see, sorry, you can see over here in the figure 3.5, so this one, all levels of government, local, state and federal employee, it's about 22 million workers en ese año. Más o menos 2 millones, arriba de 2 millones acá. 2 millones de trabajadores. 22 million workers. This is equal to about 16% of the labor force en los Estados Unidos de América. Así que imagínense el gobierno cuán importante. ¿Se imagina que el gobierno redujese la cantidad de trabajadores que tiene? Sería la quiebra el país. Imagínense, ellos trabajan con 22 millones. Digo, la población de Estados Unidos más o menos como 250 millones. Más o menos 250 millones de norteamericanos. Aquí nada, somos que 4 millones nada más. Entonces ellos representan, la fuerza laboral representa en el gobierno 22 million workers. This is an equal of about 16% of the labor force, all the labor resources available in the United States. Okay. Further, if you look at the figure 3.6, this one, you'll see that government consumption, what all levels of governance spend a goods and services. Ellos siempre ellos son muy importantes y ellos van a consumir y van a hacer que la economía vaya aumentando y aumentando, aumentando. Así que el gobierno tiene un rol muy importante también en este sistema de economía, that is the free enterprise system, ¿ok? Chicos, acuérdense que tienen que terminarme esto, eso va a ser para el trimestre siguiente, el último trimestre. Aquí tienen que hacerme estas 5 preguntas y ponerlas en su cuaderno. ¿Entendido? Now, let's conclude this chapter in this way. I'm going to show you a video that talks about the last session we just discussed, okay? About the how the government fits in this equation of the flow, the chart flow model. Okay, now let's watch this video over here.
Welcome to Higher Rock Education. In a prior video, Julia, Michael, and Beth illustrated the circular flow model. The circular flow model is a model that best shows how goods and services flow in our economy in exchange for money. In the video, we saw several transactions to complete the circular flow. First, Beth, as store manager for Comfy Foot shoe stores, purchased shoes from the factory. Michael was a manager of the factory, and he enters a factor market to purchase his equipment and materials that he needs to manufacture the shoes. But there he also...
Hold on, guys, hold on. I don't know why I am receiving this this message that I am not sharing. Participantes pueden partir a ver, no partir, vale. Sorry guys, sorry. I know it was working. I don't know why. It shows me an announcement that it wasn't sharing the screen. Okay, let's continue. Sorry guys, sorry.
Also finds Beth, circular flow. First, Beth, as store manager for Comfy Foot shoe stores, purchased shoes from the factory. Michael was a manager of the factory, and he enters a factor market to purchase his equipment and materials that he needs to manufacture the shoes. But there he also finds Beth, who becomes an employee. Guess where Beth comes from? Beth is a member of a household. And of course, Beth has to be paid. And Beth, as the head of a household, purchases items like shoes and food and clothing in, you guessed it, the goods and services market. The main point of this exercise is to show the never-ending flow of money, goods, services, and how we're all so totally dependent upon each other. This model leaves out a major player, the government. So I'm going to place government in the middle of the diagram. The government interacts with households and businesses. And like the households and businesses, they have to acquire their needs through the goods and services market and the factor market. Let's see the types of transactions. The government's main source of income are taxes paid by individual and businesses. So let me put that in green. These are taxes paid by households and taxes paid by businesses. What are we buying from the government? Well, the government provides us with protection, roads, and education, and countless other services. So I'm going to put that in black. The government has to hire employees and purchase goods and services to fulfill these responsibilities. So the government acquires the goods and services in, you guessed it, the goods and services market. The government doesn't own the companies that produce their weapons and vehicles and other things that they have to acquire. No, these are purchases in the goods and services market. So let me put that in green for the money paid to the goods and services market, and black for the goods and services provided. Now, where do you think the government goes for its employees? Well, just like a business, it has to shop in the factor market. Did you know that approximately 17% of non-farm employees work for the government in the United States? That figure jumps to approximately 20% in the United Kingdom. So these arrows show where the government enters the factor market for workers. Of course, they need to be paid. So the green arrows represent compensation, and the black arrow represents employees hired. Well, government workers, like factory workers, are members of households. They too purchase the goods and services they need from stores in the goods and services market. And of course, the goods and services market gets its stuff from businesses. This cycle goes on and on and on, with the government being in the middle. Do you get the picture? We're all dependent upon each other. To learn more about this lesson and
Muy bien, very well. With this video, we conclude this chapter of free enterprise allocation of resources.